Number 7 says find the value of x so the rectangles have the same area. Now, if you think back, you need to know what is the formula for the area of a rectangle. So let me go ahead and give that to you down here. The area of a rectangle is equal to width times height. Okay. And in each of these drawings, we're given the width and the height. We're given the width and the height. So the problem is saying that if the area of this triangle is equal to the area of this triangle, what is x? Alright, so let's go and write the area of the the rectangle on the left. It's going to be 12x. And so they say that they have the same area as the rectangle on the right. So we're going to say 12x is equal to the width times the height of the rectangle on the left, namely 16 times x minus 2. Now that we have our equation, we can solve for x. We'll start on the right side of the equal sign, and we'll distribute out the 16. So we'll get 12x is equal to 16x minus 32. From here, we need to move our 16x to the left side of the equal sign, and we can do that by subtracting 16x on both sides. That leaves us with negative 4x is equal to negative 32. Now we need to remove that negative 4, and we can do that by dividing by 4 on both sides of the equal sign. Dividing by negative 4 on both sides of the equal sign. So a negative divided by a negative is positive. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Positive 1 times x is equal to negative divided by negative is a positive. 32 divided by 4 is an 8. So our x is equal to 8. Moving on down to example number 8. We have the problem 2 times the least of 3 consecutive odd integers exceeds 3 times the greatest by 15. So now they're talking about consecutive odd integers here. So we need to let x be the first consecutive odd integer. Then the second consecutive odd integer would be x plus 2. The third consecutive odd integer would be x plus 4. So for example, if x was 1, the next odd integer would be 1 plus 2, which is 3. And the next consecutive odd integer would be 1 plus 4, which is 5. 1, 3, 5. So now that we have an expression for our first consecutive odd integer, our second consecutive odd integer, and our third, I'm just going to write shorthand here, be the second, be the third. Now we can go back to the verbal expression. 2 times the least of 3 consecutive odd integers exceeds 3 times the greatest by 15. So what does that mean, to exceed? It means this here is 15 more than 3 times the greatest. So let me put a line under 3 times the greatest. Exceeds, I'm going to say plus, And I'm going to put a line under 2 times the least consecutive odd integer. Right? So we have 2 times. It's going to be 2 times the least of 3 consecutive odd integers. Which of these consecutive odd integers is the least? Right? Well, it's obviously x, because x plus 2 is bigger than x, and x plus 4 is bigger than x as well. So the least of the consecutive odd integers is going to be x. Exceeds 3 times the greatest by 15. Right? So I'm going to focus here on exceeds by 15. So plus exceeds 15. And exceeds what by 15? 3 times the greatest. And so which of these consecutive odd integers is the greatest? Well, it's obviously the x plus 4, because x plus 4 is bigger than x plus 2, and x plus 4 is bigger than x. Right? So I'm going to put it over here on the side. I'm going to say 3 times x plus 4. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this all together and make an equation. We're going to get 2x plus 15 is equal to 3 times x plus 4. Okay, so the first order of operations would be to distribute out 3 times x and 3 times 4. That's going to leave us with 2x plus 15 is equal to 3x plus 12. From here, we need to move the variables onto one side of the equal sign and the constants onto the other. So let's go ahead and start by moving this 2x to the other side of the equal sign. Okay. So that's minus 2x from both sides. And we'll be left with 15 is equal to x plus 12. Now we need to move the 12 to the other side of the equal sign to isolate the variable. It's minus 12 both sides. And that's going to leave us with 3 is equal to x, or x is equal to 3. But now the question isn't what is the first consecutive odd integer, which x is. The question is, what are the integers? What are the 3 consecutive odd integers? Okay. Well, we know the first one is 3. So I'm going to put that up here, 3. If we substitute in 3 instead of x, we can find that 3 plus 2 is 5, is the second consecutive odd integer. 5. Then if we substitute 3 for x in this third expression, we can get 3 plus 4, 7, is the third consecutive odd integer. And we are done.